All right, what's going on, everybody? Next step, as I said in the previous video on the TREMEC TKX 5-speed install, that I'm going to go ahead and make the hump modifications. So sorry about that. I'm going to make some adjustments nice and slow because I don't want to screw anything up. So the first thing I want to do is make a hole so that I can put the tunnel in place and install the shifter on the transmission, put it in place, and make sure that the shifter is going to come out. Make sure the shifter is going to come out the hole. So there's a there's basically the hole I'm going to cut. The cross member support runs through here. I basically drilled holes from the bottom to where the edge to trace it, and then just use some cardstock to kind of line it out. This section, the instructions say to leave like an inch, so this is a little more than an inch. So I'm going to cut this inside hole out, and I have plenty of room to make modifications if I need to. But at least then I can kind of get everything in place and make sure that the shifter is lined up correctly with the hole. I don't want that to be wrong. So, of course, I did remove the seats, the carpet, the console. The console is an automatic console, so I'm going to have to trim that and try to get that to work. I believe others on the forum sites have done it, and they just had to get a new top plate because the hole for the shifter is smaller than the automatic shifter, I believe. Something like that. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get to it. So, all right, I'm going to cut a hole. Okay, hole has been cut. And should line up with where the transmission shifter knob is going to come through the hole. So I got plenty of room for adjustments if I need to move it this way, move it that way, make whatever modifications I want. So next step is to put that kind of transmission back in the hole, this time with the shifter, and just make sure that this is lining up before I do any more cutting on this tunnel. Transmission is installed. So bell housing is bolted to the block, which I already did for the run out, and then the transmission to bell housing bolts, all of them are bolted in, snugged up. And this is the cross member that comes with the kit. I still have more bolts, but I just want to put this in place. I got the transmission mount that came with the kit. Everything looks pretty good, except I still see right here, this is not, this is part that's going to be cut out, so that's good. Sorry, this is part that's going to be cut out, so that is good. But even on the other side at that same point, right there, it is touching there too. And the tunnel only takes the half of the tunnel. It doesn't take the whole tunnel. So what I'm going to have to do is extend it. I don't want to just cut and install the tunnel. I need to massage that metal up a little bit. Give me some extra room there, because I want as much clear. To me, the clearance issue is right along this midsection, because even right here, it's touching as well. So this whole midsection is going to be a problem. The instructions say you want like a 1/4 inch of clearance, and that's not even close. So everywhere else looks okay. I could massage that, but even that's within spec. I need to also figure out what the angle of this current setup is. I'm assuming, this is going to dictate that angle, and the whole engineering behind that mount is supposed to be to make it so that it has the right angle. But also I can see there's this kit has extra holes, so this is maybe for a B-body as well. So it's probably more than just one Mopar. But you can see it does fit through the hole pretty well. So I'm going to lower the car down now and see what the shifter looks like from up top. I was thinking about this as well. Sorry about that light there, trying to get that out, but I just wanted to see how far that transmission mount drops. It looks to me like it's maybe just a little bit further than the cross member. So, I mean, that's not bad. That all looks pretty good. All right, so here is the tunnel in place. I think that fits pretty well in the hole. It's not perfect, but it's just going to get a boot on it anyway. So, like I said, I do need to kind of make that section a little higher when I cut that out, just kind of massage the metal up on the factory tunnel to give me some room while I still have this metal. I may cut 2 inches on the inside, and that should give me plenty of room. I don't know if I should put the seat in and see what this looks like, and maybe a... All right, so the console's on, and then basically you have to make some trim. They sell a template that you can use to cut that out, and that would bring it down. The hole is not in the perfect spot, but you can get... I need the light. You can get replacement tops that should put it in the right place. So I think I'll be able to get this console to work with just a little bit of trimming. And, you know, I still have the factory, where it was before, and I didn't have a problem with where it was before. So I can still mount it in the back, and then I just got to position in front and weld the mounts to the new tunnel. So I think this is a successful test. I'm glad I did this, because there's a lot of things that I need to be aware of and be smart with. And I'm not going to worry about this right now. That'll be the console thing will be the last thing I do before I put everything back together. All right, so I've made the cut to give me the clearance that I think I need. Everything is bolted up. I don't have the clutch or anything, but I was able to make some incisions up here on this side to give me the clearance I need. And I think I'm good. Like, I can stick my finger up there between the tunnel and everything. I have a 1/4 inch spacer right here to bring the transmission up a little bit, and I'm basically ready to do the driveline angle. So I have my Klein angle, and I'm just going to zero it out on the lift just to give me a flat surface. I have it zeroed out here. If I put it on the block, I am 3.8 degrees, and I go on the other side, I am 3.8 degrees. If I put it on the bell housing, 3.8 degrees. So I believe that is a good measurement for that. Now, for my pinion angle, so the differential, they said to use a string and run it between the diff and the center of the output shaft, and I think this might be a little more accurate. So I have this piece of pipe, and I don't know if I can hold this, but let me show you if I straighten that out pretty good. So my diff is actually positive 0.8, 0.9. So that isn't a lot of pinion angle there. So let me see, this pipe's probably gonna fall. Yep. So if I don't know if I can do this with 2 hands. but basically have it roughly straight, roughly in the center. I am 1.9, and you can see I kind of have it wedged in between the middle. I mean, 2 people would be a lot better for this, but I think it's in the center of this, so that's good. I could trim it down and try to get it a little closer, but I think this is a good, accurate, rough reading for this, so 1.9. So I'm going to input these on the calculator to identify my angles. Okay, so I took the numbers, I took the measurements multiple times, and these were the numbers I came up with. There is a downward slope of 3.7 degrees for the engine and transmission, 3.7, 3.8. The drive shaft angle, I did that multiple times, and that came up to a slope downwards of 1.4 degrees. And the differential, I had to redo that one. Thanks to Cam for setting me straight on that one, that I can't use that point that I used on the differential, as that end part is tapered. So that wasn't going to give me an accurate reading, and it actually was more along the lines of a downward slope of 0.2 degrees. So I got this off the web, just kind of put my numbers in to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. And you know, that this and this, I mean, from everything I've know about it or read about it, that your pinion angle and your transmission angle need to offset each other, so that if I'm 3.7 degrees downward here, I need to also be somewhere in the neighborhood of this as well. So there is a YouTube video from Silver Sport Transmission that talks about this this basic Excel spreadsheet and how you can calculate the front operating angle, the rear operating angle, and all that. And I found that really helpful. But these were some of the things that they talked about on that video. And to me, the one thing is that these two, between the transmission and the differential, that they're not really offsetting each other. The pinion angle seems a little low, like it's just not angled enough to offset what I'm doing. And I probably would have had this also when I had the 4-speed overdrive automatic transmission in there that I put on last year, a year ago. And I feel a little bit of vibration, and I'm wondering if this is the cause of that. Okay, so if I unhide this section, I have basically my options to correct it. I can change the pinion angle, and say I got a 3-degree shim. That would put the pinion angle close to the transmission angle. Although I have been reading about, you know, these measurements are resting, it's not under load. And if you look at the TREMEC app and you put in roughly these numbers, or you do your measurements with the TREMEC app, it says everything is fine. And I think that's because, you know, when the car's under load, your pinion angle is going to be greater. And so you kind of want to set this up so that the two are as close as possible while under load. So I also ordered a 2-degree shim. I'm going to see which one gives me the best result, and also maybe put it on the lift and have someone in the car with the brakes applied when everything is running, and see what that load is, see what that pinion angle. I mean, they are leaf springs, so there's a chance for some pretty decent travel there, or angle difference, but when it's under load versus when it's resting. So I'll play around with that when I get to that part in there. But with those changes, I am much closer to being in line with what Silver Sport Transmission is wanting. That, you know, I do believe that your
operating angles should be opposite. So if this is like right now, everything is going in a downward angle. Nothing is counteracting. So the pinion is not offsetting the transmission at this point, which I believe is a bad thing. That's where your vibration comes in. Where if I can change this pinion angle, then they offset each other and then everything is good. So ultimately, this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to shim the pinion. I mean, even if I were to change the angle by putting more spacers in there and making more tunnel modifications, which if I were to make any more, I would have to cut that cross member out, which I'm really not a fan of doing. I still am going to have a problem with the two angles between the front and the rear are not opposite of each other. I'm going to go ahead and do this pinion angle, and that's pretty much where I'm at this point. So I'm going to, in the next video, I'll be doing some finishing up the tunnel modifications. I'm going to do that this weekend and try to get that all done. So that should be the most difficult part in all this. So taking my time and making sure I'm doing this with what I'm comfortable with. So thank you very much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions, suggestions on how I can do it better, and I'll talk to you guys later.